Welcome to Good Morning Vail, and thanks for joining us today. Now, a lot of you might be visiting and watching the show, and if you are, we want to warn you to just know the land and know what you're doing if you're going to head out there in the backcountry. Joining me now from Vail Mountain Rescue is Dan Smith. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you have a nice Christmas?
I had an excellent Christmas.
Good. No missions on Christmas?
No, but we did have a mission the night of our Christmas party.
Oh!
That was very fun.
Oh my gosh, everybody at the party must have been like, who's on call?
Well, and it was me.
It was you. It's always you, Dan, isn't it?
You know, I'm sort of not a serious drinker. I mean,
Right.
I have one beer at a party, which was good, and I found 4 other people who'd had one beer at a party, and we went out and pulled the mission.
That must have been a really
a
hard
couple
mission
weeks
to
ago.
find those
It
4
was-
other people that only had one
Yeah, the
beer.
real mission was at the party, trying to
Yeah,
find people to go.
exactly. Okay, so Vail Mountain Rescue. How long have you guys been along? And just for some people that maybe are visiting in the area, how important is your role here in the community?
Well, we work for the sheriff, and in Colorado, the sheriff's responsible for search and rescue. And if you're 25 yards off the highway, basically where we can't drive an ambulance, you belong to us.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what you've done, whether it's you've got your boat stuck in the river, or you crashed your plane, or you're just lost, or you're riding your snow machine into a tree, or you're, again, just lost hiking, not necessarily skiing. We do all hazards, literally. This last week we had 6, 2 very good ones that illustrate your point. There's a pass that goes from gypsum to basalt, and to not take that pass is an hour and a half, which is the way the interstates run. If you take that pass in the summer, you chop 45 minutes off your trip, it's great. You can't take that pass in the winter, no matter what the map shows.
Right.
And we had 2 young men and a dog who were from the East Coast who tried to drive a Jeep over that pass, and they made 7 miles, which was actually surprising.
So now, Dan, a lot of times when we're talking about being on the mountain, when there's a rope that crosses a trail, you don't like duck under it or open it up. Was there a rope?
Well, there wasn't a rope. There was a closed sign, the cattle gate.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's a gate there. I don't know if it was actually shut, but there's a very large closed sign. And they didn't believe the sign, so we had to run up and get them. And of course, we have to bring the dog out, which means we have to take another piece of equipment up. And again, you have 2 guys and a truck and 2 snow machines and a trailer. And about the time that mission went down, and we get people committed to it, another mission happens up on Shrine Pass that is much more dangerous. We had 2 overdue skiers. They'd gone out from Jay's hut about 2:30 in the afternoon, hadn't come back.
Okay, you're using a technical term, overdue skiers.
They're
What
supposed
does
to be
that
back
mean?
at a certain time, and they don't show up.
Okay, and so their friends and family call.
Well, the mother and father called, and they were very concerned because this isn't their world either. As we were just chatting, you put me in Central Park, and I'm lost. I mean, that is not my world.
Right.
This is my world. We have people who are very, very good in their world who come here and think that translates into being very, very good in this world. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
This is a very different world.
So a couple hints for people that are visiting that might want to go on a snowshoe trail that's not on Vail Mountain or something like that.
Well, first hint, go with a guide. We have a lot of guide services here. If you're not familiar with the backcountry, if you haven't snowshoed before, or you just bought some snowshoes in Charlotte and brought them out here, please go with a guide. Most of our snow machine incidents, our Ski-Doo incidents, are people that rent and don't go with a guide. They either get lost or they have this problem with their right hand. The throttle is under your thumb. Well, if you ride a mountain bike, what happens when you start to go too fast? Close both your hands.
Right.
If you close both your hands on a snow machine, you're going to go faster.
Oh, okay.
Because the throttle will override the brake, and you're going to hit a large solid object, otherwise known as a tree or somebody else. And we've had several of those this year.
I bet. That sounds like one that would be...
People who wander way off the trail, and we do have this bar in Red Cliff called Mangoes. We have learned over the years that if you have a lost party, lost snow machiner, what you want to do is call the bartender at Mangoes and have him yell out the name.
Okay.
A certain number of times they are there.
That is funny.
Saves a lot of searching.
It's all the ins and outs of being up here in the high country. And thank you, Dan, to all the good work that you do at Vail Mountain Rescue. Coming up in a few minutes, we are going to learn how you can donate to Vail Mountain Rescue with one of my college alumni coming in just a few. But right now, are those temperatures going to warm up at all? My fingers are crossed that they are. Mark Sassy's going to let us know.